disappointing loss. Didn't play our best football anywhere near it. Frustrating way for our regular season, conference season to end. Heartbroken for our guys. Didn't do a good enough job coaching or preparing. Hats off to Army. Really good football team. The quarterback, man, he's a warrior. He's a battler. Like, ton of respect for Bryson Daly. Coach Monk and his staff do a tremendous job, and hats off to them. Heartbroken for our guys. Didn't play well enough, didn't coach well enough. Have to do a lot better job and have to look in the mirror and own it. But love our team. I told our team after the game, this does not change how I feel about this team. Still love those guys. Grateful for them and what they've given Tulane and Tulane football and what they've meant to our university. And good news is we got one bowl game left to go play, so we can maybe try to rectify how we feel tonight. So with that.
All right, if you have questions, raise your hand.
Seth Mendelson, Black Knight Nation. You talked about Daly, and of course, Kanye Udo also had 100 and something yards.
Yeah.
I was sure had 50. I'm sure going into the game, you felt you could stop the Army running game, and obviously you couldn't. What do you think they did right?
Well, I don't know that we felt like we could really stop them. I think you're trying to maybe limit them. I don't think you're going to stop them. They're really, the schematics they do present challenges, and the players they have are really good players. The Kanye Udo kid, Noah Short, is a really fast kid. The Bryson Daly guy is like a linebacker carrying the football, and so they're going to get yards. They bullied us a little bit and got a lot of extra yards that we just didn't tackle the ball very well. So, I don't think we came here thinking we're just going to stop them. I think we probably felt like we were going to limit some of their runs more than we did, and we did not. They were very explosive in the run game. They were very physical, and they created a lot of positive plays. We didn't really create very many negatives.
My second and last question is, you guys played a pretty tough schedule this year. You lost to two top teams, plus Memphis. What does Army rank with these teams?
They're as good as anybody we've played all year, if not. They're one of the top teams. They're really. I think what's impressive, and having seen Army the last 2 years, not at Tulane but at Troy, I think you can tell this team is very veteran, very senior laden. They're physical up front. And I think they're just like, there's a lot of guys that I remember playing against the last 2 years, number 20 and number 6 in the secondary. I remember this 51, this linebacker feels like he's been here forever. The quarterback, a lot of the linemen, their O-line's very, very experienced. And so this is a really quality football team. When you start slow the way we did by missing 2 field goals early, you don't do yourselves any favors, because once they get a lead, a couple scores, it's really, really hard to overcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
And Coach, Ken Kreitzer, Cam Vets Media. You stopped the Army when it was 14-0. Stopped the 4th and 3 at the 4 on the pitch to Tyrell Robinson. And did you think at that point you could get back, into the game?
Yeah, it felt like an opportunity for a momentum swing. Maybe we had, missed 2 kicking opportunities to get points. They're coming down, about to make it 21-0 if we don't get a stop. And that stop, you felt like, okay, maybe we stopped the train going the wrong way on the tracks, and sort of maybe could reverse that, and but just could not capitalize and get anything going right there.
Is that Darian?
This is, yeah.
Oh, Darian, just you had at the end of the first half, you had a 42-yard pass play to Mario Williams, and you ran a really good, drive, 4 plays. You got a touchdown, got your team back in the game going into the half. Tell us about that 2-minute drill you did.
We just knew we had to go fast and try to go score quick, just because, Army's going to limit your possessions, and I think they did a great job of that tonight. But, we had to go fast all night just because, we're just playing catch-up at that point, down 21-0 just before the half. It was tough. So, credit to Army. They played a great game tonight, and I'm just hurt for our guys.
Congratulations on a very good season.
Appreciate that.
Hey, Coach Summerall, Joe Iacono with BlackKnights.com. You guys have been super consistent all year long, played a great season, and looked like, you talked about the 2 issues with the field goals. Army's first touchdown drive was aided by a lot of defensive penalties.
Yeah.
You had the personal foul in the second half. What do you think was causing some of the self-inflicted wounds there?
Yeah, the face mask on the drive, the 15-yard face mask, that wasn't an intent issue. It was just we went to go make the tackle and the hand ends up on the face mask. So I don't really get upset over that. That's just a guy playing and something happening. The personal foul we had later in the game when we were moving the ball, I think it was going to be 2nd and 2. And we set ourselves back to 2nd and 7. That's not okay, and love the guy that did it. He's a veteran player, played a lot of football at Tulane the last 5 years. It's unfortunate, not characteristic of who we've been all year. And, Army's a really good football team. We didn't need to help them, and we beat ourselves at times and didn't play to maybe the standard we've known in a lot of games this year.
Yeah, follow-up and final question for Sam. Sam, you guys played Navy earlier this year. The national media likes to lump Army and Navy together a lot because they're both military academies or run option concepts. You guys shut Navy out, beat them 35-0. What were the major differences between Army and Navy?
I think just that game, I think we played a better game defensively. This game, we just didn't execute as well as we did that game. Like you said, hats off to Army. They were ready, and they played better. They played better than we did, and they got the job done. So,
Thanks.
Gary?
John, for the first field goal, it was 4th and 2. Did you consider going for it because you had talked about you needed to score touchdowns? And then what exactly happened? Because I watched the replay a couple of times and I'm not quite sure what.
Yeah, so I did consider going for it there, yeah. I thought, let's get points, take the lead. Getting a lead in a game like this is a huge deal. And so I thought about it. The very next drive when we did kick as well, we were going to go for it if we were 4th and but then we had the sack, and it's like, well, we're not going to go for it 4th and extra long. And then I think on both of them, Gary, I didn't get a chance to go look at it on the iPad on the sideline because of the flow of the game. The special team staff did. It looked like on the snap was okay. Maybe not perfect, but okay. We might have double clutched the catch. It looked like to me live. And I think it just wasn't the two of them were not, the holds weren't really clean or smooth. The snap I think was okay. I just think the hold wasn't ideal. That's what it looked like live. That's what after the guys that watched on the devices on the sideline were able to kind of relay to me.
Army went 4 or 5 on 4th down, which is kind of what they did. But the key one probably were down 21-7 with a chance to have momentum.
Yeah.
They passed it, got a pretty easy completion out the top because they hadn't thrown. But how important did that play turn out? Yeah,
it's a critical play. I mean, we didn't coach it very good, in my opinion. We should be playing more match coverage there. We were a little bit too far off and gave too much of an access throw, if you will. We got to challenge a little bit more and play the sticks a little bit more, and we got a little too soft in our coverage, and they made a nice throw and catch, and that's a critical play that we should probably be a little bit more snug in our coverage.
Darian, it's easy to say that cold weather isn't going to be a factor, but in what any way did that influence what happened tonight? Kind of uncharacteristic mistake. Not necessarily cold related, maybe just focus.
Me personally, it didn't really affect me, to be honest. The equipment staff had me all warm all game, and so I wouldn't say the cold was a factor for us. It was just the self-inflicted wounds, getting down in the red zone were just crucial, and they took us out of the field goal range, and so we couldn't go for it, just like he said. And so those hurt the most. But again, the cold didn't affect me too much tonight.
And Sam, same question to you. They had so much rushing success with the weather conditions, with the temperature. You guys had
no, sir. When you play a good team in a championship game, you have to be your best, and we just won our best. And like you said, the self-inflicted wounds didn't help the fact that we were playing a elite football team, and they made us pay when we didn't execute. So
you guys had a great year. The last 2 games wasn't the same. Can you put a finger, anybody, on on what changed in the last few games?
Yeah, I don't think we've tackled great and played to our level of physicality in the run game, Gary. The last couple games, I don't know. I'll have to look back and look as we reflect on the year and see, did we wear down? Were we tired? I don't know. We also, it happened to be against, last week against Memphis, a running back who I think is as good as anybody in the country. And then this week you're playing an offense who runs the ball as good as anybody in the country, the whole offense itself. So I think you have to give credit to the two teams. And I think we have to reflect and try to figure out if there's something we can do better to put our guys in better situations. But neither game did I feel like we really tackled well with great physicality or strain to get off the blocks the way we had in previous games. And it's unfortunate because we didn't play our best when our best was required.
Any final questions? Ken?
Just was going to ask Darian, you made a terrific play late in the game, the 4th and 6th play, where you took the ball, you had pressure, and then you moved to your left and you went against the grain, you found a receiver. Just tell us a little bit about that play. It was probably one of the best plays I've seen of the year.
I mean, 4th and 6, you got to have it, and I know my guys are going to go up and make a play. Shaz, Rio, Yule, all those guys in the receiver room, Dante, they did a great job all year, and so I just had that trust in them. And Shaz, I mean, we got to feed him more, and I'm sure he'll have a great year next year. But man, I just wish I could have did more tonight. And again, I'm just hurt. For our seniors, for everybody's staff, taking a loss like this is tough. But I'm sure we'll rally back and be straight next year.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you all.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate it.
we could have Coach sit at the table with the ESPN mic.
Doesn't matter where we sit.
No, the rest of you can sit wherever you.
Where am I? I'm sitting in the middle right here?
You can sit right there, yeah.
Okay, come on, somebody sit down here next to me.
For Army champions, we have Coach Jeff Duncan, we have Brandon Thomas, we have Kanye Udo, and we have the Michael Rusker Most Outstanding Player, Bryson Daly. Coach, if you would start with an opening statement before we open it up to questions.
Well, it's hard to come up with an opening statement after something like that. I'm just so incredibly proud of our team. What a great night for Army football. What a great night for West Point. I think tonight just was an embodiment of what this entire season has been for this team. The determination, the effort, the toughness, the discipline, the brotherhood, the love for each other, the grittiness that these guys have displayed from day one, from game one. That's what showed up tonight. And we beat a really good football team. Congratulations to Tulane for being here and being a part of this game. We're honored to be in this game and to host the American Championship. And really an honor for us. I'm proud of our team, proud of these three guys sitting up here with me, but I'm proud of everybody in that locker room. And not just for the plays they made tonight, but for what they've done to get us positioned to be able to do what we did tonight. And it's a really good football team. And I think oftentimes we're considered a team that, just has a bunch of little old guys and not very talented. And the fact is, we got some talented guys. Are we as talented or more talented than other teams that we play? Maybe not, probably not, but that doesn't matter. We just have to have the best team on a particular day in order to win. And they have a very talented team, very well-coached team. But I'm just proud of our guys about the way they played tonight. They played together and just played like the best team. And so I think we got a really good football team, and it's been fun to be a part of this team with them all season long. I've coached a lot of seasons, I've coached a lot of games and a lot of teams, and there's very few times in my career where I would say I'm as proud of the team I was a part of as I am of this one tonight. So it's great to be here and be champions and to be able to celebrate that with these guys. Our senior class, what they've meant to this program, what they've meant to this team, there was just a raw determination in their spirit to get this program back to a championship level. And certainly to be able to call ourselves champions tonight is pretty fantastic. So I'm proud of these guys, and we're enjoying the victory here for a little bit before we get ready for the biggest game of the year next week.
Start right there.
Coach, you guys went for it on 4th and 5, instead of going for the field goal. I took it as a sign of confidence that you could. But if you didn't get it, the team would be back in there.
I think it was 4th and 3. I think we could get the first down there, or no, maybe it was on the 3-yard line. I can't remember. I knew the number. The number was 3. 4th and 3 from the 4. I knew it was 3. And our go number was 3. So, we've been in that situation before, and unfortunately we didn't make it. They stopped us. And, as it turns out, you can call the analytics guys later on tonight, and they'll tell you, you didn't make it, but you had them inside the 5-yard line, which is a really tough place to operate as an offense, and we got to pick. And maybe if we kick the field goal there and we kick off and they got the ball at the 25, or we weren't doing a great job of kicking off and getting stopped. We had a couple times, but they returned one out to the 35 and one out to the 40. Maybe it's 17 and they go down and score in 17-7. As it turns out, we got the pick. We were able to score a touchdown, go up 21-0, and it was certainly a big score in the game.
My second question is, they talked about limiting your running game for Stu Bryson and Kanye, and that was short, having 50 yards too. They did anything but talk about your running game and how you were able to do what you had to do, even though they were keen on it.
Greg Gasparato, their defensive coordinator, is a great football coach. And John Summerall, their head coach, is a great football coach. John being a longtime defensive coordinator, very well respected, and we knew that they would have their team prepared and ready. Greg comes out of the same school of Nate Wood. He worked with Nate and alongside Nate, worked here with us, knows our team very well. And so we knew they'd have a great plan, and they got really good players. And just tonight, our guys just did a good job and knocked some holes open and made some seams for Kanye and for Bryson and the other guys, and it was enough. So I'm really proud of the offense. I'm proud of our whole team, but the offense, just talking about running the football, because it's hard to run the football against those guys. They're really good at stopping a run, and to be able to do that tonight is, it's just gives us a tremendous sense of pride.
Thank you.
We'll go over here. Right to you.
Joe.
Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
You guys just beat a really, really good football team, 35-14. And you talked about it a little bit already. Would you say that's the most complete game the team's played to this point?
I don't know. It was pretty good. It's a pretty complete game. I don't know what you guys think. Think that was the most complete game we played? You guys were in there fighting and playing.
Probably.
I mean, special teams came up with a big play. Heck, I didn't know until we were standing out there in the lobby. They said Granati's the one that caused the fumble. How about that for a kicker? I mean, that tells you about our team. That tells you about our team. It's just that effort and that desperation to win. So we've played some good football games this year. We've played some complete football games. That was as good as we've played against a really good team, and saved us for the right time. That's for sure.
Bryson, the mob has been awesome all year, but tonight they just absolutely dominated a really good defensive front, as Coach Munkin was just talking about. Talk a little bit about the game those guys played, and a couple of your touchdown runs like we've seen previously this season. You didn't get touched when you were across the goal line. So talk about the mob a little bit.
Yeah, I think it was their best game this season. They played incredible. They came into it with an attitude, knowing, hearing all week that this defense that we're playing against, would know our offense and they'd know how to play us. And those guys took that to heart and they played really well. That line of scrimmage was getting moved, 2 to 3 yards, and then by the fourth quarter, 4 to 5 yards. They played awesome, just like they have all year, but they really stepped it up today when we needed it.
And my final question, it's about Kanye, but I know how unselfish you are, so I'm going to ask Bryson and Amden instead. Kanye was the second team all-conference running back. And there was a guy named Mekhi Hughes who was the first team all-conference running back. And Kanye had 20 carries for 158 yards. Mekhi had 14 carries for 66 yards. For both of you, because you had something to do with stopping the Tulane running back, and you and the offense had something to do with Kanye getting all those yards. Was there I know you guys don't really focus on this stuff. I know your attitudes, and I know why you want to win. It's for all the right reasons. Any little added motivation around any of that?
I didn't hear Kanye talk about it at all when the all conference came out. Guys really weren't talking about it, but we're all competitors. We see things and we hear things, and Kanye's a competitor. You've seen it all year. And it showed today. And, I always think Kanye's the best running back on the field when I'm playing with him. And he really showed it today. And he's a really, really good player. And he made a lot of good plays today when we needed it. And, I always go to bat for Kanye because he's awesome. So.
Yeah, just to add off that, credit to him. He's a great running back. But I think the D-line really won us the game. Defensively, at least, they're handling their business up front. We were able to just get them down, stop them pretty short. So.
Go right here.
And then more on the defensive line, a little banged up, and some guys had to step up today, like Cody Weineker had to step up. Can you talk about, specifically maybe their efforts and the way they helped you guys out and you're holding them with 14 points?
Yeah, they did great. Guys like Cody, Matt, Gemma, dudes that really haven't played much all season, but, biggest game of the year, they stepped up when we really needed it. Just fitting the right gaps, it allowed us, me and Caleb, all the linebackers to do our thing. So credit to them. They got great pass rush as well. Forced a few bad throws, so credit to them.
Kanye, what did that 72-yard run feel like for you, and how much momentum do you think it gave your offense?
It was huge. Earlier in the game, just being able to break loose and fit off the hold that the mob created for me and just have a big play.
One more quick. Coach, you said during the award ceremony that the Downtown Athletic Club should extend an invitation to Bryson for New York. Same time as Army Navy. Can you guys get that done if they do extend the invitation out there?
I don't have any idea, but I don't know that there's anybody in the country that would balk at the idea of the starting quarterback of the Army Black Knights, who's rushed for 100 yards in a game. How many in a row now? 10 games in a row? On an 11-1 team that just won the conference championship. Why doesn't that guy belong down there? There's a lot of great football players in the country, but there's not one that means more to his team than that guy sitting right down there. And so it's the MVP of college football. Who's most valuable to their team? I'd argue there's not a guy in America more valuable to their team than Bryson Daly. So I think he should be down there. And I don't have a vote in it, and they're not going to listen to me, but, he belongs down there. And I know that the college football world would be thrilled to see that. And how many times in history is there going to be an academy player that legitimately could go down there and everybody feels like that guy belongs? You know what? This is that time in history. That guy belongs down there. That's what I think.
We'll go to Ken in front row.
Bryson, congratulations, 4 touchdowns today and 126 yards rushing. I thought one play that really stood out was in the third quarter, 4th and 5. You got a completion. You did that play, that little sideline pass to Casey Reynolds that got you the first down, kept the drive moving. Tell us about it.
Yeah, 4th and 5. Shout out to Coach Worley and Coach Monken just for trusting us as an offense to get that first down when we really needed it. They've trusted us all year with that. And, that play was drawn up for Casey. And, he's a really good receiver. You trust your playmakers right there to make big plays. We only threw the ball twice today, but we have so much trust in Casey and his ability to get open that, we were able to get him the ball, and he was wide open because he ran such a good route. So he's a really good receiver. Doesn't get utilized, as much in this offense, but he's a really, really good player, and we trust him.
And just to ask you about your interception, it was 14-0. The offense had just gotten stopped, and so you got the ball back to your offense, and then they went back to work to make it 21-0. Tell us about that play. How did it feel?
It's surreal, being able to make a play. I'm really blessed to be in the right place at the right time, but once again, credit to the D-line. They had a great rush, forced the quarterback to get the ball out of his hands, and I just happened to be in the right spot. So.
Just ask you, again in the third quarter, you got to stop on 4th and 8. It's only took a penalty, but you were able to stop them on 4th and 8, and then the offense went back to work to make it 35-7.
Yeah, I mean, it's so great, being able to get a stop and knowing the offense is going to do their thing, take, half a quarter or a quarter off the clock. It's really comforting. So, it's really complimentary football. We do our thing. We know the offense can do their thing.
Congratulations.
Sir, thank you.
Go back.
Hey, Kanye. So on the 72-yard run, just talk us through that play. What you see in terms of holes in the offensive line, and kind of just talk through the play for us.
First off, I should have scored. Let the guy get my ankle at the end there, but just hit it zone side. Was one-on-one with the corner, was able to make him miss, like high step him, then just off to the races. Lost the race.
Go back to Ken.
I was going to ask Coach Monken, this team's 11-1 conference title. Where did you see this team start to take off, start to gel, show the potential that it has?
The first weekend in November last year. That's when it started. There's a determination in this team. We were 2-6. A lot of people counted us out. And this team just had a determination that we weren't done and we were going to keep fighting. And so that team last year was well led. It's a good senior class, good captains, and this team willed themselves to a 4-game stretch at the end and a Commander-in-Chief's trophy, and it just was born from there. And this senior class was determined that it wasn't going to be 6-6 again. We were going to find a way to scratch and claw and fight and find a way to be a winner. So Coach Saturnio said maybe toward the end of the summer, before preseason camp, he said, Coach, I think this can be a special team. And it's just the attitude of our guys, how they worked, their professionalism, their approach to everything that we were doing. And we had enough veteran guys that had played, and we felt like we had a chance to have a good team. There's 3 good players sitting up here with me right now. There's 5 offensive linemen down there in the locker room that have started every game, and it's the best offensive line of any team I've ever been a part of, collectively from one end to the other. There's been some really great players, and here, other places I've coached, but we never had 5 and a group as good as this one. So and certainly for our offense, that's where it starts. I got Kanye to my right, Bryson down here to my left. Those are 2 really good football players. But if we didn't have an offensive line, they wouldn't be sitting up here right now. And so it starts there. And I think that I've always thought that the offensive line kind of sets the tone for the entire team. If they're tough and they're rugged and they do their job, then everybody else does it too. And I want the offensive line to play so well and to be so tough and be so admired that everybody on the team wishes they could play offensive line. And that's about what these guys are. They're like that. I think everybody wants to be that. They want to be that tough, and they want to be that rugged, and they want to be that efficient. And that's, we got a lot of guys on our team making good plays, and it's not just them, but I think it starts there.
Thank you, Coach.
We'll do 1 or 2 more. Jackson, back.
Bryson, this last game at Miami Stadium, the core rushing the field, the trophy ceremony, you take a second just to soak that all in tonight.
Yeah, it was incredible. That was the whole message just last week for our senior night. We didn't get to have the core for our senior night, and the whole message was, hey, win this game. Last week to get to play again in front of the core, and it was incredible. I was so blessed to have that opportunity to play in front of them again, play in front of all our fans that came out in the area. They came out in the cold and they supported, and it was awesome. And we're very blessed to have the core and just our fan base in general.
We'll do the last one right here in the front.
Coach, I got to ask the question. You have a message for the college football committee, the playoff committee?
Here we go. I'll go back to my comment about Bryson Daly. at this moment, I think there's 8 teams in the country that have won 11 games at this moment. 8. All of the others have played 12 regular season games, and one of them tonight played a conference championship as well. This team played 11 regular season games. We've beaten everybody they put in front of us except for the number 4 team in the country. And they beat the pants off us. I get it. They beat the pants off us. But we beat everybody else. Just beat another bowl team tonight. And who in college football, who around America wouldn't be excited to see the Army Black Knights in the playoff? I think everybody would. It's a unique, different brand of football. And everybody in America can cheer for their home state team and their alma mater and still cheer for Army. And I think there would be a lot of excitement to have this team in the playoff. Now, again, I don't make that decision, and there's a committee that's charged with doing that. But I think this team could compete as well as any group of 5 team in the country in the playoff. And I don't know. I don't know what would happen when we get in there. We'd only be able to find out if we win. But to have a team like this that's won as many games as we have, performing like we have, I would love for the college playoff committee college football playoff committee to give us some consideration. Certainly, Boise State's got a great team, and you know they've kind of been up there in the ranks and all that. So I get it, but I'd love to see this team get a crack at it, and the way they're playing and the determination that they play with, the confidence they play with, we give somebody some hell. I know that.
I'll do one quick one over here.
Oh yes. Who are you going to ask the question to? That's the key. Who you want to ask?
Coach Wilkin.
You go with the easy guy, don't you?
What do you think your team could have improved heading into the Navy game?
What do we need to improve on? Well, I have to look at some film tonight, but we had a couple of times in the open field where we had got the ball on the perimeter, and we're supposed to block guys out there on the perimeter, and we didn't do a great job all the time of sustaining those blocks. We probably left some yards out there with those blocks, and then defensively, we had a chance to make some plays in the open field with some tackles. The first touchdown of the game at the end of the second quarter was one where we had a big missed tackle. And that's certainly got to improve. We got to make those plays on the perimeter for sure. So that's at least one area that we can improve on. I'm sure when I look at the film here in about 30 minutes, I'll find 115 other things. Good question.
Thank you, John.
Be Navy. Proud of you. Go enjoy, guys.